Hello, Suns fans. Welcome into the latest edition of the Sundress Dunks podcast. And we just had a 4-0 week. And I definitely am feeling the vibes. I'm very purpley today, but we got the Valley jerseys back. We had the 4-0 week, and it was a really great week, except for the injuries. And now we just have to wonder are the Suns cursed? Am I cursed? Last week I came on here right after Jalen Green had his first game, debuted with 29 points, and I was just raving about Jalen Green. And that night, he went out and played against the Clippers in his second game, and he got injured. He tweaked the hamstring again, and now he's going to be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. And of course, now Grayson Allen is injured with the quad, and he may miss at least a couple or a few games as well. We don't have the information on that yet. So definitely a little bit of a mixed bag with the injuries this week. But other than that, it was definitely an amazing week. So let's get into it. Of course, last Saturday we did play the Clippers, beat them for the second time in a row. Beal is out for the season, Bradley Beal. We dodged a bullet there. Can you imagine if we still had Bradley Beal on this team? And of course, CP3, he's out there getting DNPs. When he does play, he barely puts up any stats. And the Clippers, they're looking pretty bad so far. They'll probably still make the play-in because there are a lot of teams in the West that just are not that good this year. But the Clippers are definitely not looking like a juggernaut. The refs in that Clippers game were so bad. The worst refing I've ever seen in my life. That was the game that Booker got 2 offensive fouls in a row that were just complete nonsense. They probably should have been fouls on the other team, and to call fouls on Booker, just absolutely ridiculous. That was also the game that he got 1 assist shy of the triple-double. Booker has only had 1 triple-double in his career. That came in the playoffs. That was also against the Clippers. And he just keeps getting close. But, that's okay. As long as we're winning, it doesn't really matter if he gets the triple-doubles. Booker doesn't care. And so it's all good. Second game of the week, we beat the New Orleans Pelicans by 23 points. This was the game that Grayson Allen set his career high with 42 points. He had the record 10 3-pointers. And let's relive that moment. Here's Grayson Allen breaking the record.
Iguodaro finds Dunn. Allen shooting for the record, loads up again. Boom! Give him the record.
And, it's great to see him not only break the record, but to see the bench really happy there. All his teammates loved him. They crashed the post-game interview with him. And, he made a lot of comments post-game about how happy he is to be in Phoenix, how he's always loved it here. He loves the fans. And, that's pretty much what everyone on the team is saying. And it's really great to see that. And so it's really great to see Grayson Allen doing great. But, he did get injured in the next game, and hopefully he'll come back okay. But the New Orleans game, that was also the game that Rasheer Fleming got in. He got a great block. He got a 3, then a dunk in transition. And, Rasheer Fleming's going to be a player. Fleming and Malawach got assigned to the G League the other day. They just played. They both had a great game there in the G League. And Fleming's really shown that he has a lot of talent. It's going to be very nice to see how he progresses. So, let Fleming and Malawach get some time down there in the G League. They're not really playing anyway for the Suns. So, And, the third game of the week was Dallas. We beat the Dallas Mavericks by 9 right after they fired Nico Harrison after making the worst trade in history, trading Luca for a broken down AD. This was the game that Grayson got injured after having 33 points in this game. And, I really hope he returns soon. We really need Grayson. He's been, one of our top 3 players this year. It's really amazing. This was also the game that Jordan Goodwin played 20 minutes and had 13 points. He's really starting to play a lot more minutes. The coach and some of the other players talk about the subs when they get in there, and they call them the Goody Group. Goody is Jordan Goodwin. So it's obvious the effect that he has on the game in all aspects. And, he's kind of the leader of that bench mob right now. Then the fourth game of the week, of course, was against the Indiana Pacers. This was where we finally had our Valley jerseys and court back. And, it seemed like 2021 out there. We've got the jerseys, we've got the court, we're blowing teams out. The vibes are high. And it's just so fun to be a Suns fan right now. And it's unbelievable how bad the Pacers are after a team that went to the finals, and now everyone is injured, including Halliburton, and they're like 1-11. They're the worst team in the league. But in this game, Booker and Brooks were the first teammates to both score over 30 points in less than 30 minutes. And people are really talking about Dylan Brooks now. The national media and people are really starting to see his effect on the game. And he had one really amazing shot that a lot of people were posting about. And let's just relive that for a second.
I mean, look at that shot. I mean, he's like a...
What a great finish by Dylan. The Suns account tweeted it out later and referenced the Twitter account Art But Make It Sports, trying to get them to reply with a tweet. I don't think they've replied yet, but hopefully they will, because that account's great and they make a lot of great artistic pictures of NBA shots. So hopefully we'll see that. But this was also the game that Oso Ighodaro had the game of his life. He had 17 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 blocks, and a plus 52. The third highest plus minus in history. That is absolutely amazing. But you know what else he had? He had this week's Thunderous dunk.
Suns other rookie. Come on, Malawas goes inside, and Oso makes the reservation in the boom room.
Oso, get up, young fella. Oso's had a really tough year so far, and he'd been losing minutes, but he got the minutes in this Pacers game with Mark Williams out on the second leg of the back-to-back. And so we'll see. Also definitely showed that he can have impact in this game. Was it just a one-hit wonder? Or, is this guy someone with a lot of talent that just needs a little bit more time? We'll see. That's going to be a great storyline to see how Oso does the rest of this season. And we'll see when Kaman Malawash can finally get in the rotation as well. This was another great game for Jordan Goodwin against the Pacers. He played 23 minutes. He had 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. So it's great to see Goody getting in and really affecting all the different aspects of the game. He's always been a great defender, but now he's making his threes and he's making great passes. And he's really seeming like a great all-around player. He and Colin Gillespie are both really similar players that just have a very positive impact on all the aspects of the game. And they're both playing most of their minutes together. And even though they're similar players, they're playing really well together. And that lineup has been one of our best lineups recently, that Goody group. So we'll see if that continues. It was a great 4-0 week. And so stock up and stock down for this week. Of course, the first stock up has to be Oso Ighodaro. He had the game of his life. He had the thunderous dunk. Can he keep it up? Let's go, Oso. We believe in you. The second stock up has to be Grayson Allen. He had 2 great games, scoring over 30 points. He had his career high. He had the Suns' record with the 10 3-pointers after he had made 9 in a game like 3 different times. He finally hit that 10th. So, Grayson, we need you back soon. The third stock up has to be Jordan Goodwin. It's great to see Goody getting out there. He's really impacting all the aspects of the game. And I definitely want to see more minutes from Jordan Goodwin. So stock down for the week, I'm going to have to say no one. You know, we had a 4-0 week. Everyone played great. The only people I could say maybe were stock down would be Rasheer Fleming and Kaman Malawach, just for getting assigned to the G League. But, you know, that was always the plan, and they're not playing for the Suns anyway. And they'll be back with the regular team soon. You know, it's just down the road there in the G League, so why not get them some minutes and then get them back up with the Suns? So, not really a stock down for the week. But how are we looking after the week? We are 8-5. We are 7th in the West. We are 3rd in made 3-pointers behind the Warriors and the Cavs. We are 5th in 3-point percentage. We are also 4th in steals per game, less than 1 steal behind the league leading Thunder. So, you know, if we keep making threes and we keep getting steals, then we're going to continue to win a lot of games. Obviously, there's other statistics, but I think if you look at those two, if you're going to be top 5 in those 2 stats, you're going to win a lot of games. Overall, we are now 9th in overall net rating. We are 11th in offensive rating and 10th in defensive rating. And you know what they say, when you're right around 10th overall or top 10 in all the ratings, that's a playoff team. And so right now the Suns are looking like a playoff team. The national media is starting to finally talk about them a little bit. We know Bill Simmons said he defended his writer, Michael Pena, who said they were going to have the worst defense in the league. Obviously, that is looking like a really bad take. But some of the other national media are finally starting to say the Suns might be a playoff team. So people like Nikias Duncan, Keith Smith, they've really given the Suns some props the last couple of days. And we'll see if we can continue it this week. We've got 3 games. Sunday, we play the Hawks. They are also 8-5. They've been winning without Trey, who's going to be reevaluated in at least a couple weeks. So he's definitely going to be out for this game. You know, I don't know a lot about the Hawks. Haven't been watching them. But they are apparently led by Jalen Johnson, who's averaging 21 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and almost 2 steals a game. So let's try to keep him in check. But this is a home game. You definitely really should win that one. On Tuesday, we'll have our only road game of the week. That will be against the Portland Trailblazers. They got off to a blazing start, but they're now down to 6-6. But they are led by Denny Avdia, who's averaging 25 a game. I don't know how the Wizards let him get away, but, you know, as my man Psycho Blue always says, the Wizards, they're really one of the most dysfunctional franchises in sports. So they let Denny Avdia get away. He's only getting paid about $13 million a year. It's really like the best contract in the league right now. But that's going to be a tough game being on the road, especially if Grayson is still out. But you got to try to win that one as well. Friday starts our tougher stretch, going up against the T-Wolves. And, you know, the storyline for that game to me is really Devin Booker battling with Ant for the best shooting guard. Devin Booker always goes off against the T-Wolves. That's one of his best teams that he always scores over 30 points a game against. And, I think last year everyone was saying that Anthony Edwards was the best shooting guard and that he had kind of passed Devin Booker. But the way they've played this year, it's definitely a lot closer and really a tough battle between Ant and Devin Booker for who is the best shooting guard. So I'm really going to watch that one. And I think the national media is definitely going to have a lot of storylines about who is the best shooting guard after that game. So hopefully we will go 2-1 this week and set you up for the really tough murderer's row that you're going to have through Thanksgiving and the early part of December. And we'll see if the Suns can stay in the top 8, maybe stay in that top 6 and be a playoff seed. Who would have thought this year the Suns could make the playoffs? It's definitely looking possible this year. Let's just get Jalen Green and Grayson Allen back. Let's keep getting some wins. Maybe get Mark Williams playing on back-to-backs later in the year. And we'll see how it goes. But right now, the Suns are on a 5-game winning streak. Let's keep it going. Suns up.